All right, we're here with Nikki in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. How you doing, Nikki?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Do we have permission to use this video on our YouTube channel?
Yes, you do.
All right, Nikki, how old are you?
I am 37 years old.
And you're currently struggling with crystal meth.
Mm-hmm.
And you also work on the strip here, doing dates.
Yeah.
Okay.
A prostitute. You could call it what it is.
Yeah.
Just say what it is.
Yeah, so where were you born again?
I was born in California in Hollywood.
All right, and where were you raised?
Pasadena. But I was raised in Las Vegas.
Where'd you go to high school?
I didn't.
Okay.
I went to 9th grade.
You got to 9th grade?
Yeah.
Which was junior high or what?
That was like the first year of high school.
Oh, is it? Because some schools, when I went to school, one of my schools, it was 9th grade was still like middle school or something.
Like 8th grade was middle school for us, but I got, I was already well on my way to in the life by then.
Oh, okay.
13 years old.
Who were you raised by?
My grandmother raised me. Okay. She was the best woman that anybody would ever want to know. She was a teacher, educator. Yeah. You know, she's a Christian, very religious woman, and she adopted my mother. My mother was not a good parent, but my grandmother was there for me. I have brothers, but their dad was their rock, but my grandmother was mine. We didn't have to worry about much of anything. I had a happy childhood.
What happened with your parents?
I don't know my father.
Okay. My
real father. I never met him. I just found out who he was recently, and now that I do know who he is, I don't want to know him.
Okay.
And as far as like the man I believe my father was, I found out he wasn't my father when I was 9 years old, and that changed my whole life and never was the same again after that. That's when my problems really started, even though I don't relate them to that. That's pretty much where it all started for me, was finding out my father wasn't my father.
You only went to the 9th grade, but you are, from the short time I've known you, you're very articulate and you're very smart.
Well, my grandmother was a teacher, so I can read, but other than that, you know, I like to learn, you know, so I read, you know.
What were your interests back then as a kid?
I'm a musician back then. I played 7 instruments. I was taught, you know, classically. I can read music, and I wanted to be a composer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you still have some of those interests now?
When my grandmother passed away, I stopped playing music altogether.
Oh, okay.
I never really picked it back up, and I was very good, you know. A violinist. I played piano from the age of 2, and I just stopped. You know, it's funny how things work like that sometimes. You know?
Who was your role model besides your grandma back then?
I adored my grandmother, but like I looked up to some women in the community that my grandmother would introduce me to, like my neighbors, and that were married with careers, and it was a certain type of lifestyle that we were supposed to strive for. And I just always knew that it wasn't going to be my life for some strange reason. You know, I just knew I didn't cut it there, and it ended up being exactly the case. When my grandmother passed away, it was back to nobody and no supervision. I came here to Vegas. My mom was already gone in the streets, and she let me run the streets, and it only took us minutes, you know, for somebody to get a hold of me. I was 13 years old. Like the man that was my pimp would take me and drop me off, and you know,
in Vegas,
pick me up, you know. But I never touched the money myself. I just got things like clothes and food.
Here in Vegas?
Yeah, here in Vegas.
So you moved here?
I moved here when my grandmother passed away from cancer. I had no choice. My mom's my legal guardian, and she lived here. She out on Fremont Street, and she was just out.
Oh, not a good area, huh?
No.
Or how did you get introduced to the pimp?
Well, my mom sold me to her drug dealer at one point, and I decided I didn't want to go home anymore. So I went to the bus station, and this guy was there, and now that I look back on it, he was a predator. He was there looking for girls like me, you know, and he kind of saw my problems, and he fixed the problems I had, like if I wanted to eat, or I was hungry, or didn't have anywhere to go, or anything like that. And that's how he got his hands on me. It only took a minute, you know. He introduced me to crystal meth.
Oh, he got you into it.
And
he didn't do drugs before then?
Never. And then that from there, it was a wrap, you know.
Do you remember how you felt when you first tried it?
I do. I felt great. Of course, you know, it's the same feeling that I've been looking for since the first time I did it, you know. But
you never get that same high again?
No.
Okay.
No. You go looking for it in other drugs and maybe find your death, you know.
What else did you try?
I was addicted to heroin, and I did quit. I've been clean for 3 years from that.
Congratulations. How'd you get off the heroin?
Cold turkey.
Cold turkey.
I met somebody that cared about me.
Yeah.
And let me detox, and they didn't let me leave, and that's how I did that.
Okay, so you're off the...
I have no desire for that anymore because I don't ever want to go through that again.
The withdrawals on those are terrible,
horrible.
Right?
It's horrible. Plus, it was an embarrassing drug for me because it made me lose everything. In 2 years, I lost every friend, every family member. You see, my grandmother left me some money. So when I was 25, I inherited the money, and I was doing very well, for many years from that money. Yeah. But, it just ran out. But so, I was already a prostitute by the time I turned 25. So it went to the wrong hands and the wrong places and the wrong substances and just bad management altogether. Okay. You can blow through a few $100,000 like it's nothing, and that's what happened.
I want to get the timeline right. So you started prostituting at 13.
13. My grandmother passed away.
And you're how old now?
I'm 37 now.
And you've done it the whole time, or was there breaks? Was there breaks in between? Okay.
I really haven't. I couldn't say. I take breaks for other criminal endeavors that probably I decided were too risky. So I decided that.
What else did you dabble in?
Probably like white collar stuff, but nothing serious. More than anything, it's always been this. I don't want anything else but this.
Do you find comfort in this job?
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit,
I don't know. I don't have an education to go get a job or a diploma, even though I might be just as smart as everybody else.
Yeah.
But here you can be anybody. You can be anyone. You can 1 minute you can speak to a man that's an oil worker, or the next minute you be talking to a doctor. And as long as you can have a good conversation with that person, you're just on their level, and that's what I like about it.
You ever been on a date with someone like an athlete or someone?
Yes.
What kind of celebrity were they?
Rappers.
Okay.
Athletes. Just scholars. A lot of different people.
So you had some good experiences.
Bad ones too.
I'm gonna get into the bad ones next, but what are some good ones though? Like what?
Well, the fact that this is my life choice, it's shaped who I am as a person in general. So I have to say that it's been good because I love who I am. Yeah. There's always room for improvement. But
did you learn anything from some of these guys?
Lots.
You learned a lot.
Lots.
All right, now let's go to the negative experiences.
Well, there are some. It's a soul thing, with my religion that I grew up with. It's a sin. So I couldn't always. Sometimes I face myself in the mirror, or I can't. I don't go to church anymore, just because of maybe guilt. But it's like you weigh your pros and cons out when you make a choice in your life, and when you're going to dedicate yourself to something, you choose what it is you want to do. And I chose a long time ago, so this is what it is.
It's fast money. It's addictive.
There's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
It's not just you can be on the lowest level or the highest level. I've been a little bit in between, maybe in the middle, and I've never been too much, too high. I feel like I'm owed something even, because of the things I've gone through and things I've dedicated my life basically to a principle or an idea. Yeah. And that's like being in religion, It is a religion. Mm-hmm.
Can you describe one of your worst experiences?
My worst experience has left me with post-traumatic stress disorder. A man that I knew, a regular person, was considered to be almost a friend. He stabbed me 36 times. He bit my ear off, raped me. I had to have reconstructive surgery on my face, my ear. He left me for dead. He really tried to kill me, and he smoked some spice. What the weed is? It's not weed. It's called spice.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
It's really disgusting. Well, it tripped him out, and he fucking just stabbed me with a barbecue fork over and over again, and tried to suffocate me with my own clothing. He raped me. The police had to pull him off me, 6 of them, and I didn't even testify against him.
Oh, you didn't?
No. He still went to prison because the state pressed charges, but not the ones they should have. He bit my ear off
for
a few years. He could have went for life for biting my ear off. But this is my ear that he bit off. They did pretty good on it, if you ask me.
I'm so sorry.
This is my regular ear, so you can see the difference. Yeah, I mean those are bad experiences, but they're also learning experiences. I can also relate them directly to drugs, crystal meth mainly. So.
Yeah. Do you want to get out of this lifestyle eventually?
There's always an end game. It's not supposed to be forever. Yeah. I should have been gone, but I don't know. I haven't gotten what I want, whatever that is. I don't even really couldn't tell you, but I'll know when I have it, and then I'll just be able to move on with my life, I think.
Are you saving some money? while you're working?
Right now, it's I got smart late, so like saving money is hard to do when you haven't been doing it at all. But yeah, I am. I'm saving money, but I also plan to do, better things with money. Money's not everything to me.
Yeah.
Money is just like a convenience, It's not happiness at all. Like I said, I inherited a $500,000 when I was 25 years old, and I blew every penny.
What'd you spend it on?
Drugs and having fun, Beamers and men and women and whoever I felt like, I'm everybody's friend, so that's the way it went.
Have you had more than one pimp in your life?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me what is the attraction to a pimp and what?
A daddy.
What's the lure to a pimp? Yeah.
That's my mental thing was a dad.
Okay.
Because my father disowned me and told me he wasn't my father when I was 9, and I had never been right ever since that day. So I guess that's kind of what I finally decided I was looking for, was a daddy. You don't always find what you're looking for.
Go ahead, sorry.
You want more than anything. A woman wants a companion in any type of lifestyle. So.
Were you ever with a gorilla pimp?
Yes.
What's the worst thing he's done to you?
I've had men that would let me come home without having a certain amount of money, or degrading me in front of their friends, selling me to somebody else. You name it, it's been there. But those things don't even degrade me. In my mind, those are normal things, because I've basically grown up in this lifestyle. I don't know anything else.
I was going to ask you, have your views on men changed? But you've been doing this practically your whole life, so what are your views on men?
I don't hate them.
Okay.
I don't hate women. I don't hate anybody. I think that everybody is different and everybody should be treated accordingly. I try not to lump people up into a category. I'm getting old now, it's not something I want to do forever. I have other dreams and hopes and goals of businesses I would love to run, but
What kind of business do you want?
I would like to own a wedding chapel one day, or some type of situation where I could help people who are at risk.
I think you would do great at that.
Either or, and maybe both. Who's to say I couldn't do both?
Without the drugs, though, right?
The drugs are not supposed to be forever. They weren't supposed to ever be this so long, but it's like my only friend sometimes. It's been there forever. I don't know. I have a relationship with Crystal that I don't have with any person on earth. When I was on heroin, it was really great because I loved the feeling of not giving a fuck about nothing. It's just you can't be a functioning member of society like that. So, as you can understand, I have a brother I love dearly. He has kids, and I wanted to be in their life, but I can't do that and be on heroin. It's just not going to happen.
Do you have any kids?
I don't. Yeah, but as I get older, I'm realizing I may never have kids. I'm 37. I'm a realist, I realistically, it may not happen for me.
Still a few more years.
I do, but I feel like it should have happened by now at the rate that I haven't. I've tried, but not really have I ever gotten off of drugs, which I believe is why I don't have kids. So if I were to quit getting high, I would definitely try for a child, because I would want anything more than be a mother.
So if your grandmother wouldn't have passed away, you think you'd be somewhere else in life?
I would definitely be somewhere else. I was on my way somewhere else as
What do you think you'd be?
I don't know what I would have ended up being, but I was a talented musician at the rate that hopefully, with any luck, I could have ended up being a music teacher, if nothing else.
Yeah, definitely.
My grandmother was a teacher, and I always thought that good ones were hard to find, So I'd be a good teacher if I was going to be a teacher. But
you still can be.
Yeah.
Maybe not a teacher, but do you have a felony?
No, I've never been to prison.
Never been to prison?
No. Isn't that amazing at this day and age?
All you need is your GED.
I have a GED.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that. Where'd you get that at?
At Job Corps.
Okay, you got your GED?
Yeah, I went to this Job Corps center in Morganfield, Kentucky, because when my grandmother died, I just wanted to leave California. And I had no supervision, so I was able to enroll, lie my age a few years.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a lot easier to do that shit. Yeah. I joined a magazine crew. I don't know if you ever heard of one of those.
I heard of those. I think I almost got a job with one of those.
I worked for this Superstar Sales Incorporated thing, and I would travel the country with these wild people.
I know.
Getting fucked up, and that's how I kind of started.
Staying motels.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, but I made a lot of money. That's the only thing I've done beside prostitution.
Yeah.
And I only did it for a couple of years, but I got laryngitis so bad that I couldn't talk anymore, and then I was worthless to them, So,
What kind of money are you making out here?
It depends on what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
Really, it's up to you.
Yeah.
you can make nothing or you can make everything depending on how you want to go about it. Vegas is the only place in the world where a bum can make $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
Those people that live in the tunnels that everybody talks shit about, you should see the wads of money they're counting.
Yeah. Where are they getting it from?
The tourists.
Oh, squares?
the people,
Yeah.
the licks, the robberies, whatever they do, they're doing for their money. That's where they're getting it. And I can't say, I don't know. I know how I've been getting it for a long time.
Working here on the strip, like how much is the most you've made in a day?
Depending on like the situation, I've made $50,000 off one person.
Okay.
And then I've made nothing before. I wasted my time too, but a few times, or I made maybe 1,000 or maybe 200 or whatever. It's like you work on a sliding scale based on whoever you're talking to.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking to a lawyer, you want the big lawyer money. If you're talking to a man at work at Burger King, you ain't gonna try to hit him over the head, but you serve the same people, same service, right?
Have you started putting a little bit of money away when you one of those big nights?
Yeah, but I end up spending it sometimes, or I have a spending problem. I like to go shopping. That's why I believe in having a pimp, because I'm bad with money.
Because you had a pimp for so long, they were taking care of you.
Yeah, but other than that, they're supposed to help you manage your money.
Well, I feel good about you. I think you're going to make it. Now, do you have access to the internet on your smartphone?
Of course.
Why don't you start looking at investing and saving money?
Investing and saving money are things that they're not my strong point, and I've always just been kind of like, it's not my area.
Well, just take baby steps. Because I think
my investment was always
game.
supposed to pick a man that would be able to invest it correctly for me. And if you couldn't do that, then that's where you fucked up. You know,
that's how you're raised.
That's just the way it goes, and I've been bad at that. And every time I always think that he's the one. Yeah. Or just like every other girl, it's just a different type of way.
Are you in a relationship right now?
I am in a 3-way relationship with a woman and a man, actually.
With a woman and a man?
Yes.
Okay. How's that working out?
It's been working out for 2-3 years now.
Oh, so really? And they're all happy? They're all okay with it?
Everybody's okay with everything.
Okay. What's the long term on that? I think you guys...
Ain't no telling. I don't know where it can go. I've never been here before.
Is there jealousy involved in those kind of relationships?
All the
time.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it unhealthy or is it...
There's nothing too toxic about it when you consider some of the relationships I've been in the past. It's very untoxic considering the shit I've been through,
So do you guys live together or?
Yes, we do.
Oh, all three live together, okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So 2 women and 1 man?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not polygamy though. It's a little different.
Yeah. What's the best thing about your life right now?
Well, the fact of the matter that I'm alive and talking to you. I'm a gunshot wound survivor. I've been stabbed. I've been left for dead a couple times. I've had near-death experiences where I pretty much think I crossed all the way to the other side. So I can talk to you now and tell you that I'm here for a reason and know that, and to not be on heroin anymore. Those are just every day that I don't do heroin is a good day for me.
That's great. You're not on heroin. How many times have you been shot? How many times?
I got shot 4 times in 2008. Yeah, I earned it. Some people have it coming. Some people don't. I had that one coming. I can't just say I was an innocent bystander, so, I won't go into it too much, but, what goes around comes around.
Do you still talk to any loved ones? Do you have family?
My brother and I are very close, and my mother and I not so close, and that's all I got.
Where does your brother live?
Here in Vegas.
Okay, you're close?
He's my own. He's like the good side of my blood that I cherish and I protect from Vegas. I don't want to ever get tainted with this town because this can be an ugly ass place.
Do you know anyone in your life that's sober that was using before but have turned their life around?
My mom has been clean for 9 years.
Oh, really? You don't think you can rekindle that relationship?
With that 9 years of cleanse is like a forgetfulness that came over her, that she forgets that she sold me to somebody, and that's how I left home, So it's hard to forgive and forget. I forgive, and I love her. I just don't hang out with her or see her for that matter, just because she forgets some of the shit she did just 9 years ago and I didn't. So
did you ever get any therapy for all that throughout your life?
When my grandmother was alive, she used to take me to see these therapists because they said I have like mental disorders, some mental disabilities, like being very bipolar, and I am bipolar. Okay. Like violently, like extremely, but I'm supposed to take meds that I don't take because I choose to embrace it. But when I take pills, I feel like I'm perfect, a little too perfect, that it's not natural, you know, and so it fucks with my head, and I'd rather just be who I am. Yeah. You know, but when I was a little kid, I had violent, like, temper tantrums, and I don't know if I was acting out or what the situation was because I was just a kid, but my grandmother, she didn't play that. I was on Ritalin fast, you know? Yeah. It worked for what it was supposed to do. Shut me up.
Did you have any learning disabilities, though, when you were growing up?
No, I was a pretty smart girl, you know? Learning disabilities, no. Okay. Mental problems, I skipped a grade. I was younger than everybody else, so I went to school only to 9th grade. I really kind of missed out on 4 years of high school to function and with people my age, and I was just doing things a high schooler shouldn't do, you know. I miss my childhood a little bit.
How did your mom get clean?
CA meetings and Alcoholics Anonymous meetings and going to meetings. Yeah. My mom was always attempting to get clean, though, throughout my childhood, you know. She just didn't, what do you say? Well, how can I put it? She would be a sneaker. Like, she'd pretend she was clean and then she'd be sneaking, living in the closet. And, you know, I think for her to be truly clean, it's been the last 9 years or so. So we always used to pretend my mom was clean, but she wasn't, you know.
Have you ever tried NA?
Meetings? Yeah. I kind of grew up going to them, you know. Personally, it's not something that I would do because I don't like to talk about getting high while I'm not getting high. Yeah. You know, I had a man that loved me a lot and sent me to rehab. He spent money out of his pocket, and they had me in the middle of like a forest somewhere, and we were just talking about drugs. And I couldn't think of nothing but drugs, and I wanted to leave, and I escaped, you know? I almost died trying to find my way back to civilization. It was terrible.
So you're not homeless. You have a place to stay.
I have a place to stay, but I've been homeless. When I say homeless, I never slept on like a park bench or in the tunnel. Yeah. But I've definitely had nowhere to go, and I've definitely had situations where I had to do something I didn't want to do just to keep a roof or eat, or for that matter. When you live hotel to hotel in Vegas, it's very expensive, and you can maintain your life like that, living every day in Motel 6 or the Diamond Inn. And I did, and I have for many years. I haven't had a real apartment in like 10 years. So you gotta, it's chaotic life, like just chaos upon chaos, because you live not paycheck to paycheck, but date to date, you know? That's because of drugs. When I was on heroin, it was really bad. Every penny, everything went to that shit. Everything.
That's great that you're not on it.
It's taken me years to build myself back up from what I destroyed from doing heroin. Still not all the way right, you know?
Now you just gotta get off this crystal meth.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little harder. It's just because it's, like I said, my oldest, most cherished friend, you know? It's weird.
I know. Do you know of any places out here that you can go to if you wanted to get help, like a rehab or?
Well, yeah, they're available, but they're not very enticing or make you want to go there.
No?
No.
What is it about that turns you off?
Well, the fact of the matter is I know about the big business rehab is as well. It's just like prison or anything else that makes money. Once you start making money off of it, the pureness is gone, and therefore the help isn't even there for you. It's just more of a rope-a-dope, you know? But if you don't want to quit doing something, you're not going to quit, period. And I've never wanted to quit doing crystal. I always wanted to quit heroin because it was making me look bad and making me have track marks and making me fucking turning on my friends and my family. But the crystal is just now recently still wanted to stop smoking, you know, and wanted to stop doing because it's nothing there. It doesn't even work anymore for me.
How much are you spending on it a day?
I still spend hundreds of dollars on drugs no matter what.
A day?
I mean, at least $100. Yeah. Because it's not just me, you know, and I keep people around me that I use to function daily, like people that might help me do this or to do that, and you got to keep them together too. Okay. You know, it's not just me, but me too. Yeah. I don't get out of bed without it, probably. And it's kind of sad to say, but I want to admit this stuff to you out loud because I want to hear it for myself, you know?
What's your message to young women wanting to get into prostitution?
It depends on what level of the shit they want to get into it.
And be honest about it.
I would discourage it if you're going to do it the way that I was, kind of forced, circumstantial thing. But if you want to be an adult film star or a high-class escort, by all means, don't do it wrong, do it right. So there's no real right way to do anything. So you have to pay attention to what you see and be smart, you know? There's nothing wrong with the end game, like just a temporary thing. You can make millions and leave this lifestyle, never look back, and that's the point. But that always gets lost in translation almost every time with life, you know?
Where would you like to see yourself in 2 years?
somewhere on my way to at least starting to be ready to open up one of the businesses that I have a goal set for. I want to at least be open or on the move to opening, you know. I know it's not going to happen overnight.
Do you want to still use or?
No, I would hope to definitely be done with that. Even maybe cigarettes be done too.
Yeah.
I haven't quit smoking cigarettes. I can't make a promise on those, but I do know that meth is something it's dying down in my life, even though it's been such a major starring role.
Yeah.
This show's almost over for it because it's not even the same drug anymore. It doesn't even work, you know? Like I said, it's just not the same. People ain't the same. I've lost a lot of friends.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends have died recently. Like a handful of my day one friends I've grown up with, and I'm starting to feel alone out here, you know? I don't want to die out here.
What do you think is the hardest part about being on the streets or working on the streets?
Loneliness. I don't want to die out here. I don't want to be somebody in a gutter that they don't know who she is.
Yeah.
You know, that's my fear. I don't want to be unidentifiable, you know, because then how would they even find my mom? When my mom used to smoke crack, I used to think that if I died out here, I would just be dead. Nobody would even know because she was never to be found. Every time when I was a minor and CPS would try to find her and I got in trouble or something, they would always have to take me to Child Haven because she's not able to be located. So I'm mindful of things that grown-ups think about, I guess, you know. 37 means that I'm not going to live forever because I was 27 yesterday.
You're still young, Nikki. What do you want people to know about you that are watching this?
That I don't pity myself and I don't feel sorry for anything I've ever done, good or bad. I just want people to know that, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover and you can learn something from anyone. It doesn't matter where they're from, you know, if you could take the time to just understand them or try to understand them, you might learn something. Nikki,
do you have like an email address or social media?
I have an email address.
Okay, what is it?
It's going to be nikkirhan56@gmail.com.
Now, if someone wanted to help you, what would you need? What kind of support would you need?
Well, you know, money is always needed. That's the reason why I do what I do ultimately.
Yeah.
So, you know, financial stability is what we seek. And whether or not we get it, the way that it comes it makes it hard to achieve. So I would like something more stable that I could, maybe a place that I could call my own all the time, not have to worry about moving. And, you know, as far as money goes, I would love money, but if money is something that everybody asks for, I would say give me items. I'll take clothing. I'll take, you know, whatever, because I don't have clothes that are appropriate for, you know, regular life. You know, I don't have shoes that are appropriate for day-to-day life. I have shoes that are appropriate for a prostitute and clothes that are appropriate for a prostitute. I don't have any transitioning stockpile of clothes to just go back to being a normal person if I ever could have been one, you know.
Some of our guests have been offered jobs, places to stay, even out of the state, transportation, all kinds of things.
That's I have no kids, and I'm willing to do almost anything to better myself. So with that being said, it could be anything. Sky's the limit with me, you know.
Can you get clean on your own, you think? If it required that? If it
required some, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I did heroin, but not necessarily on my own. I had an amazing support system of a person that no longer with us, passed away, another friend that I've lost. And, you know, people come in your life for reasons and seasons, you know, and that season he was there was to help me get off of that heroin, and now God took him off this earth. So, you know, I couldn't say for sure. Crystal, like I said, is going to be tough. It's so psychologically embedded in my brain that, and it's my friend, you know. But I want to quit. I want to quit bad enough that I could. I just have to remove myself from the things around me that are always around me. That's kind of hard to do sometimes.
Nikki, thank you so much for this interview. You're such a colorful...
Thank you.
You have a colorful personality, and...
I hope that I'm not the same...
You have a lot of wisdom.
And I'm pretty stupid too at the same time. Isn't that funny?
No, you're not stupid.
I'm the smartest dumb person I know.
I want to hear more about this music thing later. But what kind of music do you like anyway?
Well, all kind of music. But I was classically trained like violinist in orchestra, and I was first chair violin all through middle school, you know. And I played with the Los Angeles Junior Philharmonic. I went to the Pasadena Conservatory of Music, and that was a special school. I didn't even go to a regular school. But I ended up, you know, just tearing it, saying fuck it. You know, when my grandmother died, I didn't care about nothing. And that was the end of that.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. Okay, I would have to say my favorite movie is gonna be Bossin' Up by Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Or
I've never seen that one.
It's good. Or maybe I just saw this other movie last night called Pleasure. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's about this girl that's on a journey to become a porn star. It's really good. I thought it was like some like soft porn I was watching on Showtime last night, but it ended up being a really good movie.
Pleasure.
It's called Pleasure, and it's got that girl Brittany Murphy. I think she's dead now.
What kind of food do you like?
I like to cook.
Yeah.
So any kind of food, really, if it tastes good.
What do you cook?
I have my same basic dishes, but I'm always trying new stuff. Or I watch Food Network and I try new things. I like to cook for people who like my food. If they don't like it, I don't give a fuck. Then I don't want to cook for them. I'm just, I've been dealing with a lot of grief lately. I've lost so many friends and really close friends at that. And like even people who I've, spent most of my life with. So it's like, it's been a sad last few years. This pandemic has been kind of rough. So I'm just trying to like rebound like the rest of America, like we took a hit too, even though we're out here in the street. I would never wish for anything to change. I would wish that my story at the end has the happy ending so that I could help somebody else, and I wish that, I don't wish for wealth, I just wish for comfortability.
What did you think about this interview? How do you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah?
I do. I feel like that I represented myself the best that I can,